Thank you for joining us today on Living It Up, Making Life Juicy. I'm Ingrid Guthrie, and I have a special guest, Colleen LaRose, and we're going to be talking about women in the workplace and women purchasing, and we're going to be talking about pinklinkpages.com. This is my dear friend, Colleen LaRose.
Hey, Ingrid.
Hi. Thanks for joining us. Tell us about what made you start pinklinkpages.com.
Well, in March, I was doing some research and I came across a statistic that said women in the United States own 29% of all of the businesses, but they generate only 4%. 4% of all of the revenues in the country, meaning that men's businesses generate 96% of all of the revenues. And I was just flabbergasted by that. And I could not understand, well, why are women-owned businesses so small? Doing a little more research, I found out that women-owned businesses typically are generating only about $50,000 a year in gross receipts. So
really?
Yes, that's gross receipts. So their bring home is what, $30,000 or $35,000 a year. I mean, it's just barely a life-sustaining kind of operation. Right. But women buy 80%. 83% actually, the newest statistic I just saw, of all of the goods and services in the country. Women buy, let's face it, we buy our clothes, we buy our husband's clothes, we buy our kids' clothes, we buy the food, we buy all of the laundry and, kitchen stuff and bathroom stuff. And, how many times, even if your husband says, we need to caulk the tub, don't you buy the caulk?
Right. I'm out to Lowe's.
Sure, exactly. So, women buy most of the stuff that needs to be bought. So I was like scratching my head going, well, this doesn't make any sense. Why is it that if women are the major consumers, why aren't they buying from women-owned businesses? And so looked into it a little further and realized, you know what, there was no way to know. Unless you happen to know the owner on Main Street who has, the flower shop or the bakery or whatever. How do you know what business is owned by a man and what business is owned by a woman? You don't. Yeah. Right? I mean, these are statistics that the government gathers, but it's not anything that's, posted out there anywhere. And I thought, I'm going to ask some people, if they knew what business was owned by a woman, some of my women friends, I said, if you knew that, I give them the statistic about the 4%, and then I say, if you knew that these, certain businesses were owned by women, would you patronize them more? Would you try to give them a little more business, And overwhelmingly, the answer was absolutely yes, that women would buy from women-owned businesses to try to help out their sisters. Right? Yes. There was nothing out there to distinguish between the two, and so I started Pink Link Pages, which is a directory of women-owned businesses. Nice. And it gives people, the consumers, an opportunity to go to a place, pinklinkpages.com, and look for what it is that they need, the product or service it is that they're looking for, and all of these are women-owned businesses.
Great. And I'm now on Pink Link Pages, is Living It Up, Making Life Juicy. So I highly recommend it. It's got some very interesting information and statistics on there as well. Now, how many members do you have right now?
We have about 600 people who have signed up.
Awesome.
And not all of them have followed through and put their listings on at this point. I'd say about half. We have about 300 women who have gone through and completed their listing and are actually up on the site.
And you're going to guide at the end of this show. There'll be some slides, so you'll see. You guys out there will see how to do it and how easy it is.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have other countries also, which is very interesting.
Yeah, this was really cool. When I thought about this, because I originally thought that this was a United States problem. When I was talking about 83% of the purchases are bought by women in the United States, and 4%, of the generated, revenue is from women. And I thought, well, this is just a problem here in this country. And
no, I saw this chart. It's not.
No, it's crazy to recognize that it's not. The United States is actually, we're not the forerunners in the world, but we're not bad.
We're not bad.
We're, and what's really sad about that, though, means that there are a lot of countries where things are a lot worse for women entrepreneurs and women who want to start businesses. And so I went out on LinkedIn, on a number of the different groups in LinkedIn, and started telling people about pink link pages, again, thinking that there would just be people from the United States. And I had women from Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Panama, Brazil, Israel,
oh my God, that's
Egypt,
so exciting.
South Africa, I mean, all over the world, every continent we have touched at this point. Every continent, Pink Link Pages in 1 month is on every continent. And I'm really, really feeling blessed by that. That's exciting. I told my husband it's kind of like collecting stamps. You get to see,
better.
And I feel like I have girlfriends now all over the world, not only all over the country. We're in 30 states and 16 countries as of last night. We picked up another country last night.
Wow.
So we're really excited about this.
Now, what do you attribute that to, this, global interest?
Well, I think that, honestly, I think it comes down to the fact that this is a real issue, and no one has ever kind of put it out there. And you know what, Ingrid?
Well, how did you put it out there?
Well, with the LinkedIn groups, but also by saying, here's the deal. Women buy all this stuff. Women aren't getting together in a coordinated way in order to make a proactive difference in how women-owned businesses or women. Here's another issue that we're going to need to go over. Women-led businesses, women in corporations. There, very, very few women at top levels, and we'll talk about that on the boards and even as CEOs. Only in the Fortune 1000, it's like 2.6%.
I've got that chart. I've got that chart.
2.6% of the women in these major corporations or these major corporations have women CEOs. That's pathetic. Women are not only banging their heads on the glass ceiling. We're just we're being completely left out in many cases of the boardrooms. So this is all about giving women the sorry about that, the empowerment that they need to be able to, do what they need to do, and I think the internet is what's creating this wonderful environment for us. It's allowing for these connections to be made between women and allowing them to meet one another and recognize that we have this in common, and that if someone will facilitate it, we can together unionize the women of the world to be a revolution.
To really, oh, wait a minute. I don't care to take over. I just want things to be equal, I was remembering on the way over here, I was remembering that commercial. I can't remember what it was for, but you've come a long way, baby. Well, we really haven't,
Not as far as what the news would like to say that we have.
Right.
They talk a lot about the fact that women now graduate from college at higher levels than what men do. And that's true. That is a true statistic. There are more women graduating from college than men now. But that doesn't translate into the workforce. It does not translate into the economy. Women are poorer, much poorer than men at every stage of their life. And, this is, I'm not making this up. You can look up poverty statistics, for women and all of that, and it's not, and that's a shame that women never, and that's why there are so many children who are living in poverty, frankly, because, their moms are living in poverty, at such alarming, levels. And there just is no reason for it. Women have all of this economic clout, but we need to coordinate it and help one another. And this is really a mission. It's really a mission.
Yes. So on her